How perfectionism is destroying your productivity. Welcome to the School of Self-Worth Live. I'm Sam Osborne, the Self-Worth Guy. This is episode 126, and today we're talking about how perfectionism can destroy your productivity. And I'm going to get you to remember one message from today's video, and that is aim for completion over perfection. And I'm going to talk about three parts of being productive or trying to be productive and how perfectionism affects us. I'm going to talk about before we start a task, during a task, and then afterwards when we're completing a project. So let's talk about the first part of how perfectionism affects and destroys our productivity before we start a task. People can already be starting to think, I've got to make this task perfect. It must be absolutely mistake-free. And a lot of the time, people won't even start the task or a project or get started with whatever they need to do because in their mind, if it's not going to be perfect from the first step, they don't want to start at all. So that is destroying productivity from the very beginning if you can't even start and can't even get off the ground. So yeah, a lot of people will just think, I want to start my task and I cannot make mistakes. It has to be perfect. Otherwise, I'm not going to try. And that goes for a lot of people when it comes to a lot of things like starting a goal or starting any project. We want it to be perfect from the start, and that is totally unrealistic a lot of the time, and that can destroy your productivity, can stop you from even making a start. Now, let's say you are in the middle or you've just started your project. I have this idea in my head of those movie scenes where the writer starts writing a screenplay and they write 2 or 3 words and they pull the piece of paper out, they scrunch up the paper and they throw it away. And that is just a metaphor for everybody who is trying to complete some task and they've just started and they immediately make some mistake, or they are not happy with the way it is. They're not happy with that it is not perfect. And so they either stop doing the task or they throw away any work that they've just started on. So that's how it could be destroying your productivity once you've gotten started with a task. Then you can sometimes have it when you're getting close to finishing, and you've almost finished a task and you're starting to feel like, it's not so perfect. And you procrastinate, or you might just say, that's it. I'm not even going to finish it. A lot of people have problems with trying to finish a task because they're already starting to go through the mental anguish of this is not perfect. So that's another way perfectionism can destroy your productivity. The last way is after you've finished the task. Perfectionism can destroy not only what you've done, but it can make you feel like what you have done is not worth anything or doesn't have any value. And I'm guilty of this sometimes. I'll be making videos for my online school and I'll have completed everything and I start to go, and I start to see some flaws, or I go, oh, that's not quite right, or I could do that better. Now that's not so bad. It's good to be discerning like that, to have an eye for quality and to critique your own work. It's totally fine. I think perfectionism it gets a bad rap. It's actually a great quality to have. If you want something to be perfect, that's not something you should throw away. But the problem comes when it stops you from starting a project, or it stops you from completing something, or it makes you go through all this mental anxiety of not allowing yourself to make mistakes, or not allowing yourself to let things be a little rough around the edges. I usually say to myself, practice makes pretty good. You don't have to worry about perfectionism. Don't worry about it. Just practice over the long term. Try to aim for completion over perfection. All right, if you've enjoyed this video, I've got a free gift for you. It's called Crush Imposter Syndrome Forever, the starter kit for bulletproof confidence, and you can get it at the links above and below, and it's on your screen right now, samosborne.com/starter kit. And I invite you to join the School of Self-Worth Facebook group. That's the best place to ask your questions to me. I would love to make a video on your questions about self-worth, imposter syndrome, confidence, authentic self. All right, everybody, if you remember one thing from today's video, it is aim for completion over perfection. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday. Bye.